group is going to present this topic under how English is used as lingua franca and social media, particularly in Facebook marketing. Just to brief you on this slide, these are the presenters from our group, and here are the contents that what we are going to present to you about. Over here, I would like to look at the big picture and then to narrow it down to our main topic. So, to start off with here, that we talk about what is social media. Social media is a very popular platform that all of us are connected. I would say it's a globally connected platform that each one of it is popular all across the world. So it's according to page, it says that it's to promote social interaction between individuals. So individual connection will happen, and where the networks be created, that those networks are created more, other networks will become a global network. Over here, again, we talk about how does the world connects. The connection only happens because of the connection only all these platforms are possible. So to talk about it, users of social media come from all over the world, according to Boyd and Ellison says, 2007, says that people from all over the world bringing their own backgrounds and cultures together on this platform, specifically on social media. Language dominance on social media. So first we identify what social media is, and then what kind of platform. Sure. Okay. To talk about the language dominance, again we are looking at the population. According to this statistic, says the second quarter of 2023, Facebook had 3.5 billion monthly active users, which shows that there is a big population, high number of people that are using. Again, we are identifying the language being used over and over by these people. Language adaptation. Now we are coming to our point of what language adaptation in this selected social media platform. According to what has already been established, the transition of ELF, which is known as English as lingua franca, to social media is a natural result. It says that it's naturally been adapted according to IIA 2016 say that it stated as a dominant lingua franca in social media. Moving on, the statistics shows being taken from Marketer 2021 November. Statistics show that it's kind of like a rationale also why we have selected social media out of these all other.
Hello.
You can see the statistics are quite high, and it also talks about the future prediction of future also until 2025, how the users are going to be high. So we are looking at a globally fast developing platform, which is Facebook, with a future reference as well. Coming to the point of English as lingua franca, which is known as ELF. Over here we talk about is the means of communication among speakers of other language. All throughout this presentation we have been talking about how the people connect to this common language, which is known as lingua franca. It's also known, and again there's a citation given, it says the language used by speakers of different language backgrounds. It's also known as bridge language, common language, trade language, auxiliary language, which is like a helping language, vehicular language, or linked language. All these common terminologies are there to name this one particular language or lingua franca. What is English as lingua franca, ELF? It means that it's a common platform of communication that being used, again, that to exchange communication between different nationalities. Okay, again citation is given by Jenkins 2013, says a very good strong point, say that it has been happening, it's been there for a long time because of the countries that were colonized by British from the late 16th century, and why particularly English, has been promoted all across the world according to Jenkins 2013. Why is it important? It's important because the role is key areas such as international business, information technology, particularly in aviation. There are three-letter airport codes, Colombo CMB. So no matter in which part of the world you work, aviation language is entirely dependent on English. There is a phonology telephone number which says that, you know, A for Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, and like that. So it's very strong when it comes to aviation. I don't think there anything been backed by so far. So it's a very strong dominance in aviation, whereas in education, likewise, there's a big prominence. So again, the citation below shows that it's most widely used in lingua franca in matters of business, education, leisure across the world. To talk about our topic, how English is used as lingua franca in social media, Facebook, particularly what we are select. Over here, I have my colleague to carry on with the proceed with the presentation.
Thank you, Dani. As we all know, English is an international and common language. In today's world, English is very important in every field, especially it provides many benefits in our social life. Knowing English can expand our social surroundings. One of the most important benefits that English provides to us is communication with all over the world. We can contact with many people from foreign country. Nowadays, almost in every country, people can speak English. English is the primary language spoken in 71 countries. Moving on to the topic, how English is used as a lingua franca on social media. Facebook. Why English is important in social media? English is the language of science, aviation, computers, diplomacy, and tourism. Whether it is for professional or personal reasons, understanding the importance of
What's the
English.
number?
004.
Alright.
Understanding the importance of English will help us to reach our goals. As primary language of international communications, it allows people from different countries to connect and share ideas. This is mainly important today's world here, where many peoples are working and living in multicultural environments. Next point, how can social media affect people using in English language? Language change simply because the needs of its speakers changes. With the rise of social media, people also require new words to communicate in a way that's more suited to modern times, and also development of the internet slang. It means language change simply because the need of its speakers changes. With the rise of social media, people also require new words to communicate in a way that's more suited to modern times. For an example, we used abbreviations like OMG, oh my god, and LOL, etc. Moving on to the next slide, how English is usage of English language on Facebook. First one, English is used in different regions and cultures. Emphasize this reason. English language, even the English language, it has specific words, specific vocabulary language. It has and meaning related to different type of regions. When it comes to the culture, in English language is used in different ways related to the cultural backgrounds. Next point, features on Facebook that facilitate communication in English. It has specific pages which help to improve the English language ability. Next, I hand over the presentation to my dear friend Ishwa.
Thank you, Pavali. So, a very good afternoon, everyone. So, my
You are
name
at number 6, right? Dular is
I'm six.
your number is what?
mine is 3. sir.
Your
First,
alright, okay. Alright, okay.
Very good
Your
afternoon.
number is what?
My number is 3, sir.
Alright, Ishwa.
Yes. So, very good afternoon, everyone. So, my name is Ishma, and I'll be actually talking about the positive aspects of English as lingua franca on Facebook marketing particularly. So, as we know, Facebook market is not only for tangible product, it's for services that are being provided there. People find jobs there and many more on Facebook market. So, why do mainly people use English as mainly on Facebook, okay, especially to market their product or market their service? So firstly is that it's more of a symbolism. So symbolism means when we think of French language, we immediately think of the connotation of French perfumes comes to our mind. When we talk about German, it's the technology and all these technological things. And when we think about Italy, we get all this food, the pasta and everything. But when it comes to English mainly, it is not a range of products. It's almost everything because it's so global and it has a vast range of products which have been used and marketed using English. So that's one of the reasons. And why do we use English as it has many positive aspects as stated here. It is obviously modern. When we use English, people immediately think, oh wow, it's a modern thing, and there is it's a global product. Many people are using it. It has an international appeal, and obviously there is a lot of innovation that has been done. And next would be using English in advertising. As you all know, we are in Sri Lanka. You will find a lot of Sri Lankan products. But rather than actually them selling them using Sinhala or Tamil, they prefer to actually sell they prefer to use descriptions using English. Mainly because they can actually target a wide range of consumers. Because when they use Sinhala, it would be only people who know and understand. Or if they use Tamil, it would be only people who actually understand Tamil. But when they use English, there is a wide range of consumers that they can actually target and actually appeal for. So that's one of the reasons, and also that it can catch attraction of the consumers. It could be just a set of words, it could be just one word in a slogan, or it could be even a very complex slogan. People like it, okay, because as I've stated above, it is all for the reason. They think it's more modern, they think it's, many people are using it, it's such a global and standardized product. That's one of the reasons. To support my statements, I actually found a research article. It is actually based on Croatia. As you all know, Croatia, their first language is actually the Croatian language, and they use English just as a method of communication whenever they need so. So Marco has actually conducted this research targeting of how English is actually used to target and market products mainly on Facebook Market and many other social media, but I only took the information derived on Facebook Market. So the questions that he put forward was actually, does the comprehension of English language used in slogan affect the participants' attitudes towards the slogan itself and the decision? So would they take the decision whether to actually buy the advertised product on Facebook Market or not? Another question that he put forward, and when he wanted to get the survey, was actually the trade. How do people think the attitude towards these kind of products being actually advertised using English? So he actually had a range of target group. So with specific people, he actually derived the answer, which was 18 to 24, there were around 13 participants, and 25 to 13 age group, there were around 46, which is that was actually the highest range of participants in that range. And 32 to 39 age group were around 7, and 40 to 48 there were around 11 people. So based on the data that they have derived in it, these were the questions that he actually collected. So that is, there were people who answered this question. Can you all understand familiar words and basic phrases? There were around 4 people who said yes. And can understand phrases and commonly used words in the field of internet, especially. So in the field of interest, there were around one person, there was one person. and can understand the main ideas of standard conversation around 13, can understand longer speech, like more complex set of words around 16, and can understand long conversation, like a lengthy conversation, there were around 20, and finally can, without problems, all kinds of text, maybe which has literary techniques and everything, around 23. So based on it, the data that you derived, that people like it when we use complex set of slogan. People find it attractive. People think it is much more modern. So there were around, this was the data that he collected, around 70% people said yes. Their opinion on the effect of slogan based on complex slogans, and on the other hand, which was a little surprising, less complex slogan, there was a drop in it. Around 42% people, only actually said yes, and around 57% said no. So based in Croatia, basically people actually preferred, complex, set of words. To sum up, basically.
Go ahead.
Yes, to sum up my set of presentation, I would like to say that English is definitely a valuable language that you can actually use to market your product, specifically in Facebook. It doesn't matter whatever language, social media platform that we use, but definitely it can be used. So that's all from me. I would hand it over to Kavi. Sorry.
Thank you, Ishma. So I'm going to talk about the negative aspects of using English as lingua franca in the Facebook marketing. First one, I have jotted down the exclusionary. That means the non-English speakers are limited and to reach the marketing efforts. That means the people who are not talking English may feel difficult to achieve, to get the idea about the marketing ideas. So they may feel unfriendly or tempted to create loopholes in the marketing efforts. People not achieve marketing objectives due to the language barriers. And moving on to the misinterpretations, cultural changes and language barriers may cause to create misinterpretation or miscommunications with the target audience. So the cultural changes, unfamiliar language may create misunderstanding through the communication. Moving on to the next one will be the competitive disadvantage. So when it comes to the competitive disadvantage, limiting the marketing field to the language of English, it does not have a proper connection with the other languages, so people won't be able to get the basic idea of the business. So moving on to the lack of personalization, it means the communicating in non-native language may make it difficult to convey the messages with specific cultural and preferences and suggestions. So the next one is the customer trust. So the customers, there should be a trust in between the customers when it comes to a business. That is for it's a must. So when it comes to the language, English language, as a less authentic or trustworthy. So especially if it's not their first language, they are backward in trusting the other languages rather than trusting their first language. So I'll be passing it to Hasi. Thank you. Okay, let's see the solutions for the negative aspects of using English as a lingua franca on Facebook for marketing. So the first negative aspect was exclusionary. We can offer multilingual content by translating marketing materials into key languages spoken by our target audiences, and this approach ensures inclusivity and
Achananta.
number 20.
Alright. Right.
To non-English speakers who might otherwise feel excluded from our marketing efforts. And the second negative aspect was misinterpretation. So provide comprehensive cultural sensitivity and training for our marketing teams. This training should focus on understanding cultural nuance, references, and communication styles to avoid misunderstanding or misinterpretation that can arise from cultural differences. The third negative aspect was competitive disadvantage. In here, we can implement localized engagement strategies to gain a competitive edge in local markets, and this could involve establishing dedicated Facebook pages or groups tailored to specific regions or countries, allowing to connect with the audience in their native languages and on a more personal levels. And the fourth negative aspect was lack of personalization. So here we can utilize audience segmentation and targeting tools available on Facebook to tailor the messages and content to specific demographics, interests, and language preferences. By segmenting the audience and delivering personalized content, and we can create more meaningful connections and drive engagements. And the last negative aspect was customer trust. In here, we can prioritize the authentic communication by engaging with the audience in a genuine and transparent manner, and we can respond promptly and to inquiries and feedback, demonstrate cultural understanding and needs and concerns. And building trust through the authentic communication is essential for fostering long-term relationships with the customers. So these are the solutions for the negative aspects, and I am handling the solution today.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, my colleagues. My name is A.I.D. Pereira. I'm on this pen. So, English as a lingua franca, it is used in communication between different communities and different cultures, and also it is used as business English in international trade. So that way it facilitates communication between nations and different cultures and facilitates the international trade. However, it is a threat to minority language. For example, if I explain it to you, when people use English on social media more and more, on the other hand, they reduce the usage of Sinhala on social media. BBC has published a report, and they have said that, according to that report, in the last century, 400 languages, 400 minor languages have become extinct because of using English as lingua franca. The space is one language have extinct in 3 months' time. English, using English as a lingua franca, it is good for businesses to sustain the crisis. For example, latest COVID situation. So, trade international communities, the suppliers and producers, they didn't have any option to take the goods and services to the customer. So, what the strategy they used, they delivered, they apart from in-person channel, they came up with the online channel. Then they mainly use Facebook and Instagram to take their goods and services to the customers. And as a result, they empower themselves. In the meantime, their businesses, and they use the social media to the maximum level. Until 1980, business English was used mainly by the native speakers of English, and there have been very less research done on the field, and then there was a boom. The people wanted to research and write articles on this subject, and it was revealed that after that, the non-native speakers of English started using this English as the lingua franca in international trade specifically. Now, as of now, only one third native speakers of English using English as lingua franca, while about 2/3 of speakers, non-native speakers, using English as a lingua franca. Ian Mackenzie says if people start learning English as a lingua franca, they don't need to learn it as a target language, and they don't need to think it is as a target language. Yes. Now, as we know, there are two ways of learning, improving a language. One is by learning, and the other way is by acquiring. Learning it actually in a classroom context we can do it, but language acquisition is a process. So we have to step by step have to acquire language, and it takes a considerable amount of time. So the people can't do it overnight. So when people think that this is a trend, so we have to use English as a lingua franca and start using it as a lingua franca. So then the first language interference come into play, and then it leads to miscommunication and misunderstanding. Yes, and the other disadvantage is, so as Sri Lankans, we are non-native speakers. First language is not English. So when we use English as a lingua franca, we have to deal with the speakers of the native speakers of English. Then, so there may be the native speakers of English may have an advantages over us. So that is also one negative factor. So in conclusion, when we take English as a lingua franca in common scenario, term, so we call it is a common language. In fact, when we use it in business English, we use the term English as a lingua franca is trade, and sometimes when we use it as a helping language, we call the same ELF as auxiliary language. Or when two people from two different countries talk together, we call it link language. For example, when a Sri Lankan visit the Canton Fair in China, so the seller is a Chinese person, so we are single speakers. If I say link, so I want to make owner, so he can understand. So he may say meow or something in Chinese. Then he has to talk in English, I have to talk in English. That becomes a link language. Yes, so according to those factors, so it is estimated, it is suggested that Facebook, the English as a lingua franca, may facilitate Facebook to attract more and more customers into their businesses. So that is the conclusion of our presentation. If you have any questions, please ask.
Okay, come to the middle. Of course, my comments, of course, came because some of the academic problems that I had in your presentation you answered. From the other groups I had some problems which you answered. Okay? Because they were not talking about both aspects. This disappearance of some of the native languages because of English. Scottish, for example, has been affected by English. And also the fact that you had in-text citation on your slides, drawing examples from actual research papers is something which is very good. Okay? And I see a significant development in the individual presenters. Okay? Dulani? Yes. What was the mark that you got for the last presentation? 21. Okay. For this one you have got 22. Understand? But the group mark is will be a little higher. Understand? So you will get a higher average. Okay. So definitely improved. Understand? Mudian Selagi Kami, yeah. I have given you 20. You need to improve a little more, but okay. That right. Ishfa, yes. You have improved a lot. You have improved your confidence. You do speaking too fast. You need to have a variation. I've given you 22. Okay. Alright, your number 20. Okay. The problem, the comment that I wrote is that your name is Atapatlu. Okay. You were reading from this computer screen. Okay. Right? The content of your part of the presentation was rich, but you were losing on the icon. Understand? You were standing on one place. Okay. I wanted to give you a better mark, but 20 I have given you. Okay, that's a good mark. Getting 20 from me. And last one is Derek. Okay, last business English presentation, how much did you get?
I got 21.
Okay, I've given you 22, but now you have improved a lot. Understand? There is no way that anybody gets 20 and you know 20. That is not possible. Understand? Okay, so the group will get. Alright, here, what's your number?
32.
APA. Yes, I've given you 22. You have definitely improved when compared to last. Understand? Okay? Presentation skill has improved, but everything has improved. Right? But don't stop here. Right? Clear? Clear? Okay. Group mark I have given 23. Right? Okay, so you will get the average. Alright, good job.
Thank you.